Okay, good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see you all again this week. Thanks for the feedback from last week. I really appreciate it. Some great comments. Some challenging asana, but for those of you who have been practicing for a while, we're, mixing it up a little bit, trying to keep it different every day in our new normal. So today I have my blocks, I have my strap, my mat. If you have a pillow, you can use a pillow. We'll be doing some moves with the blocks. If you don't have a strap, maybe a bathrobe tie or something like that could be used is great too. So let's get started here and just let's start on our backs today. So finding a nice comfortable position, laying down. If it's uncomfortable or not in your practice, to lay with your legs extended. You can also bring your knees up to the sky, feet towards the buttocks, and we can find our breath and relax here. Placing one hand on the lower abdomen and the other hand on the chest, rib cage, finding that breath, inhaling and exhaling, scanning our body, feeling and noticing if there's any pinching or binding, places that you may need to open up, where energy may be blocked. Inhaling for 4, and exhaling for 5. Really filling up from the lower abdomen through the chest, inhaling as much, and then emptying out the upper chest through the abdomen, and exhaling, emptying all that air out of the lower abdomen. Go through this count on your own for a few breaths. And then coming back to the room, taking your arms overhead, extending the legs out, flexing the feet, stretching with the arms, and release. And flexing, pushing through your heels, extending the arms up overhead, and release. One more time, extending those heels, and release. Moving the knees up into the air, taking your feet hip distance apart, dialing the knees left and right. Back and forth with your breath. And then as the knees are dialed over, bringing the opposite arm down. With your breath. Warming up. It's a beautiful day to move. And next time we're in a neutral position, bring your hands to your side. Taking our legs, moving them over about 6 inches to one side, bringing the arms up overhead. A nice opening down side of our body. If you'd like a little deeper stretch, you can always take one of your ankles and cross it over the opposite ankle. A little bit deeper. Breathing into it. Do not hold your breath. Do not clench your jaw. Releasing, going back to neutral. And then taking your legs over to the other side. Nice side stretch. Taking the ankle, crossing over. Coming back to neutral. Bringing our legs up overhead. Arms to the side. And let's roll those ankles. The opposite way. And bring back to neutral. Taking the arms overhead, engaging our core. Let's reach up and touch our shins. Holding, holding. Holding, slowly releasing, arms overhead. And we're going to do this a couple times with our breath. Exhale. Doing a little bit of that Girl Scout cookie core. Very nice. And let's bring our our knees to our invisible chair, so our 90-degree angle, as if we're sitting in a chair, bringing our hands to a T, and dialing our legs down, not to the floor, but holding them. And up to neutral, sitting in our visible chair. And then dial them to the opposite side. Back to neutral. And let's see if we can gently lift our core, bring our hands to prayer and heart center, and take opposite elbow to opposite knee. So folding, neutral, right, neutral, left, neutral, back and forth with our breath. Don't clench your jaw. Again, our Girl Scout cookie crunch. My daughter keeps bringing them home. I'm not sure where she's finding them. Very good. Slowly taking our knees down, hands out to a T. Bringing the right leg up, and if you have your strap handy, you can take your strap around the ball of the foot. Holding the strap in both hands, folding into that, extending that leg. Taking the strap in the right hand, opening up, dropping that leg down, making sure your left hip is still on the ground, opening that leg up, feeling that nice stretch. Bringing the leg up, extending the opposite leg down, changing arms, putting the strap in the other hand, folding over. When you're on the opposite side, it's okay to lift your hips, your sacrum, your lumbar. Coming back up to neutral, bringing that left leg in, crossing the right ankle over the left foot, clasping your hands behind that thigh. You can be laying, pulling, bending that leg into your chest, or a little bit more of a core and fold into that. Whatever you decide to do, do not hold your breath and do not clench your jaw. Coming out of that, taking the left arm onto the right ankle, dropping the left knee, the right foot down onto the mat. Coming back up with the next inhalation, taking that left leg, extending it, finding your strap. Folding into that. You can also lay back, relax gently. Like a little bit more of a core. Fold it into it. Taking that strap, the same hand as the leg, open it up to that left side. Breathing into that, feeling that nice extension, opening up that inner thigh. Bringing it back up, exchanging hands, taking that right leg straight, opening it up, over to the right. Coming up, removing that strap, taking the right leg back up to the left. Extending the arms wide, dialing your heels over to the right. Extending straight, heels towards the sky, dialing those heels over to the left. Back up, bending down into our invisible chair, dialing over to the right. Neutral, and to the left. Neutral, legs down, feet on the floor, knees up in the air. And we're going to gradually come to a seated position, rolling up. With our feet firmly planted, hands behind the hips, we're going to push up into a reverse table. Opening up our shoulders, pressing through our heels, stretching out those shoulders. Very nice. Very nice. Coming to a seated, we'll cross our legs. And I will turn facing the camera. Feels good. Let's just find our breath and scan our body. See where we feel some tightness, where where some energy might be blocked. Let's open up our shoulders, taking our hands up overhead, clasping the left arm with the right wrist, and folding over. Really opening up, taking our gaze towards the sky or the side of the room, coming back to neutral, opposite, wrist around or hand around wrist, bending. Bringing our hands behind us, planting our feet firmly on the ground, pushing up into a reverse table. Opening up those shoulders, stretching through, pushing through those heels. Crossing our legs in the opposite direction, finding our block, taking our block overhead, bending forward, and let's push through those shoulders. I think we did this last week. This feels good on my shoulders. Your block can be up high or low. Bringing it down. Folding into this. Breathing, taking it over to the right, over the knee, breathing, really opening up the side. Take it over to the opposite. And back to center. Taking our legs, crossing them the other way. Back and forth. Taking a nice deep twist over hand to knee, using your arm as a kickstand, breathing into that, moving your gaze back and forth, back and forth. Opening up that neck. Next time you move, make that movement. Twist to the other side, taking your hand to your knee. Nice twist. Really important to remember to hydrate, even though we're home more and not running around maybe as much. Very important to continue to hydrate. Taking our legs out, using our block again, bending forward into a nice forward fold, extending, Taking it over to the right. And taking it over to the left. Nice. Breathe into it with your exhalation, back out. And we'll move on to table with some cat and cows. Finding nice alignment. Cat and cow. If you'd like to take your knees off the mat for some cat and cow, maybe experiment a little bit with that. So your knees can be on, toes tucked under, or they can be off. Coming to neutral, taking the right leg up, almost as if we're sitting in a 90-degree angle, and let's pulse that leg. Setting that leg down, pivoting your left leg, opening up, nice side angle. Stretch it. If you'd like to lift your leg off, certainly do that. Coming to a close. Table. Taking the opposite leg up 90 degrees and pulsing it. Dropping that toe to the side, coming up into a nice angle. If you'd like to lift that leg up, do that as well. Coming back to table, finding your table, pushing up into the first down dog of the day, walking those heels out. Finding nice downward dog, shaking that head, really extending, making sure the weight is evenly distributed. Your palms, your fingers. Maybe try lifting your toes up off the mat, lifting your ankles up, and doing some rocking. Go down into plank. Very nice. Back up into downward dog. And we'll all meet in child's pose. Three nice deep breaths. One more. Let's move our arms over to the right. Feeling that nice stretch through the left side of the body. Back to center and to the left. back to center. We'll push up into downward dog. Taking the right leg up, opening that up, pushing through those arms, feeling really, really strong, bringing that leg down, coming back to our knees, and child's pose. We're not going to spend quite as long in this child's pose before pushing back up into downward dog. And taking that left leg up, opening it up, really pushing through strong, bringing that leg down and bringing your toes together, knees apart, back into child's pose. Finding your breath for 2 rounds before pushing back up into downward dog. And taking the right arm towards the left ankle, taking your gaze to the left. Holding it, but do not hold your breath. Replacing that arm and taking your left arm towards your right ankle. Hello. Yes. Strength. Breathing through it. Do not clench your jaw. Replacing that hand. Coming down into child's pose. Finding your breath, 2 cycles. Coming up into downward dog. Taking the right leg up. Bringing that knee to the floor, left leg between the hands. Hands to knee. And if you have your block handy, you might want to grab onto it with the same arm that your knee is in front. So in this case, it's my left. I'm going to put the block down and open up to the left. So nice side angle. Breathing into that, feeling that open. Taking that block overhead. Putting my right arm down by that left foot with my block and opening up to the left hand side. You might notice one side might be more accommodating to the block. Placing both hands down by your foot. Taking that left foot back, pushing back into downward dog. Taking the left leg up, putting that knee on the floor, bringing that right foot up through, taking taking my block in my right arm, setting it down next to me for a nice side stretch. Picking that block up, putting my left hand down towards my right foot, opening up with a nice twist to the right. Bringing both hands down, taking that right foot back, find our downward dog. Breathing into this. And slowly taking our gaze to our hands, step or walk into our forward fold. If you have your blocks handy, you can certainly use them. If you feel pretty limber today, no need to use the blocks. It's just kind of ragdoll, maybe bending one knee or the other. Shake our head a little bit. Coming halfway up. Forward fold. Bending our knees, coming up. Hands overhead to prayer and to heart center. Taking our arms up, overhead, forward fold. Grabbing our elbows, shaking our head back and forth. Halfway up, forward fold. Bending our knees. Oops, I lost one of my earbuds. Hands overhead. And let's sit down in our invisible chair. Invisible chair. Check your alignment of your knees. See if we can maybe lift our toes off the mat. Yeah. Slowly coming up, arms down, hands to heart center. Moving up to the forward or top of our mats. Taking our arms up overhead, forward fold. Ragdoll. Grabbing elbows, shaking our head. Halfway up, forward fold, bending our knees, slowly coming up, one vertebrae at a time, hands overhead, sitting down in our invisible chair, bringing our hands to heart center, taking our gaze, elbow to knee, and to center, and the opposite, elbow to knee. If you'd like to open up, you can also open up a little bit of a deeper. Hands to prayer. Find ourselves in Tadasana. Taking our arms, extend them. Give yourself a big hug. Big hug. Feel those shoulders, shoulder blades. Lift them up and down, up and down. A few more times with your breath. Extending them open, hugging the opposite way. Hug yourself. Extend those elbows up and down as if you're saying, hello, world. Extend. Let's find star. And if you have your blocks handy, it's great. Go into goddess, taking your feet, pointing them towards the corners of your mat, arms extended, 90-degree angle. Make sure your shoulders aren't crunching your neck, but that they're elongated. Very good. Let's come up. Coming back into goddess. This time we're gonna lift our heels. So we'll do left heel, really raise that, see if we can balance. And the opposite heel, very good. Bringing that down, extending into star. Goddess. Sitting down, see if you can go a little deeper. Now let's lift up both heels. Really lifting through those heels, balancing. You notice that when I close my eyes, my balance changes dramatically. Coming up, star. Finding our blocks. You can use one, you can use two. I'll demonstrate with one because many of you may just have one block. Arms overhead. Let's go forward fold, hinging at the hips, folding into a forward fold. If you don't happen to need your block, you may be able to move a little bit further. For some of you that have a block, you can maybe even extend your arms behind you. Bringing the hands back up, taking your block or your stretch and breathing over into one side. Taking it to center and the other side. For some of you that may not need the block, let's go over to the opposite side again. Center, bending those legs, coming out into starfish, and let's bring those legs back together again. Finding our breath, we'll do tree. And for our tree pose today, let's go ahead and just simply lift and lower one leg first. Lift and lower. Lift and lower, finding our balance, lift and lower. And after we do that a couple times, we find the stability in our rooted leg. May want to find a focal point that's not moving, a little bit easier to do maybe when you don't have a whole classroom of folks with people in front of you moving or shaking. So finding a light switch on the wall, or the dog that seems to be sleeping. And let's find our best tree, our most authentic tree with our breath, just complete focus. And let's close that and see if we can keep that leg up. I had to put mine down for a minute, but up. And just standing. And try that for a little bit. Just a little switcher up. Switch it up for a little bit. Finding our new normal in this crazy world. Stepping it out, finding our breath, getting ready to root with our other leg, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. And when you're ready, coming in to your tree pose. Your foot can be over the arch, the other one can be on your shin, or if you'd like to pull that ankle up to your thigh, that's great too. Finding that drishti. And opening up that. And if you really want to challenge yourself today, try closing your eyes for a moment. See what that does with your balance. I'm not going to experiment with that today, but many of you know that that's one of our fun challenges for the class. Bringing your leg in front of tree pose. Let's find our way back to the floor. Extending on the floor. Stretching, engaging all those muscles, engaging, bringing your hands down to your side, bringing your legs up into a chair, similar to what we did at the beginning. Let's just dial those legs to the right, to the left, and right, and left. And slowly, when we're back to center, extending them down, getting ready for Shavasana. Clasping your fingers, pointing your toes, and releasing. This time engaging your legs, pointing. Maybe engage your gluteus maximus, your arms, your fist, and your jaw, and release. Starting with your toes, release all the energy and your feet dial open, moving through the shins, knees, moving up the legs to the quads, and your hips, feeling that iliac connection with the sacrum, moving up your vertebrae from the lower lumbar to the thoracic, to your shoulder blades, up through to the clavicle, down your arms, releasing your triceps and feeling your arms yielding to the earth, your elbows, and your forearms, wrists, and your hands. And with the next inhalation, bring some awareness to your fingers and toes, moving them gently and rolling to one side or the other for a breath or two. And slowly coming up to seated position. Taking your arms wide, encompassing all the kindness and goodness in this world. Bringing your hands together and pulling all that kindness and compassion into your heart center. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. The student and teacher in me honors the student and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste.